Hello everyone, my name is Ashley and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about a little bit about my story and also some of the struggles I have to deal with on a daily basis or just every once in a while. So here we go. I want to start off by telling you guys a little bit about myself for the people who do not know me personally. I am 19 years old and I'll be turning 20 in 3 months. Woohoo! Yay! I have spina bifida, which caused me to be paralyzed from the waist down and to be in a wheelchair, as you can tell. I have scoliosis in my back, and I've had to have metal rods to keep my back and posture straight. It affects my bladder too, so I have to be catheterized at least 3 to 4 times a day, depending on how full I get during the day. And it also prevents more UTIs, so I could be getting more UTIs than everybody else because of all the germs and stuff that could get into my body. And also, it really affects not only my legs, as you guys know already, but it affects my learning. I do have a learning disability, and not a lot of people like to see that. Everybody likes to think, oh, you could do whatever you want. Yes, you can, but you still do have limits. I have more limits than some other people do. Learning, and I want to get this straight to everybody. Learning disability does not mean stupid. I hate the word stupid. I don't want people to call me, you wouldn't want somebody to call you stupid either, hands down. It just means a different way of learning. So you have to be in a different class than anybody else because you can't learn at a fast pace. That's all it means. It just means it's slower. Some people are better at other things. Like personally for me, I was good at math up until I got to geometry. When I got to geometry, I was like, screw it, I'm done. I can't do any more math. But I was a lot smarter at math than any other of the subjects. I just want to throw that out there because many people think, oh, well, you're in a special ed class, like you can't learn everything we can learn. Yes, we can, just at a slower pace. I want people to get that straight, okay? Some of you guys are watching this video and is like, oh my god, Ashley has a voice, she could talk. Yes, I do. As you could probably tell, I have this microphone here so I could speak louder because I'm sorry, I'm not a loud person to begin with to talk. But my last 3 videos, I basically was holding up cards, not only for other people to be able to see my videos that cannot hear, but also because I really, really, really was insecure about my voice. I still am, but I think it's getting better, and I'm at the point where I could care less what anybody thinks. I don't care. I want to get this video out, not only to tell my story, but to tell other people's story and the same struggles that we deal with to hopefully come with a solution. I'm hoping some people see this video and say, oh, well, that's a real problem that not only I have where I live, but the whole world has. Like, I mean, everywhere has about the same problems I am going to discuss today. And there really, really needs to be a change. We've come so far, but we still have a long way to go. Most of the things I'll be talking to you guys with today have to fall under the category accessibility. A lot of people don't understand, like, that's a major problem for anybody that's disabled, whether it's their whole life, whether they've just been disabled for a couple months or years, it doesn't matter. It's all the same for everybody. Before I start with that, I want everybody to know that a power wheelchair is higher up than a manual wheelchair. When you're in a manual wheelchair, you're a lot lower than it is with a power wheelchair. I know it sounds confusing, or you're like, why does that even matter? Well, it does. When you go up to a table and the table's like this high, in a manual wheelchair, you might be like this, but in a power wheelchair, you're like this, if that makes sense. Like, there's a big, huge difference between the two, a big, huge difference. Anyways, accessibility is like the hugest problem like we have everywhere. Whether you are traveling like across the country or you're traveling just an hour away, it could be like a major thing for anybody. You could go into any restroom and they won't have a big enough stall for you to go in. So then you're like, what do? I can't get my wheelchair in the tiny little stalls. Like, you have to have a big giant one. They don't, not all places have that, which is really sad because they should. Most places don't even have a mirror you can see yourself completely in. You can't see your face in. You can see up to here maybe. So maybe your eyes. That's it. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what people are thinking, but it's just crazy to me. It really is. Rooms, whether it's hotel or where you're at, like beds, that drives me insane. Like, if the bed is right here and you're like all the way down here, That's not an accessible room. I don't get what people are thinking if the bed's all the way up here and your wheelchair's like down here. Do you think I can fly up there? Like, it makes zero sense to me whatsoever. And don't even get me started with the bathrooms. Like, if you have the toilet right here, the shower right here, the shower chair right here, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. Like, yes, I can transfer myself, but if they're all together in one spot, it would make it easier to because in my house, it's the sink. I have the space for my wheelchair, the toilet, and then the shower. So I can just scoot over and do that, all while the sink is right there. It makes sense, right? Not a lot of people think about that. I'm just trying to get people to think more about the things they don't think about. I really think any business, any place, whether it's a hotel, a restaurant, a small business, it doesn't matter what it is. Any place should have somebody physically handicapped to make sure everything is up to code, everything is right. And I don't mean have somebody who can walk go in a wheelchair and try everything now to be like, oh yeah, we could do everything. No, there is a huge difference, and people don't understand that. There is a huge difference from having somebody test everything out that is physically handicapped, because they will know, at least for a while, because they will know what to look for, than a regular person who has no idea what the heck they're looking for and just trying it out. Like, oh, yay, we can reach the towels right here. Oh, yay, we can reach the sinks. Yeah, you may be able to, but not everybody else that's handicapped will be able to. Like, there's the major difference. Not many people quite understand, and I'm trying to get people to understand that. Another thing that drives me insane about accessibility is concerts. I haven't been to a first concert in 2014, and I've been to concerts when I was little. Don't get me wrong, it's not like that was my first ever concert. It wasn't. But for a while in 2014, yes, that was my first concert. And I see the same similarity every time I go to one, and that is not being able to see. They tend to have the people that are in the wheelchairs either on the sides or way in the back. Okay, that's fine, but we can't see where everybody else can see. Everybody else can stand. I don't have that option to stand. My new wheelchair right now, it's called iLevel. Just the letter I, like an iPhone, but iLevel. ILEVEL. If you are looking for a new wheelchair, I totally recommend it. It's like, it's changed my life. It's changing the whole game. It has an elevation feature on it where I can go higher and see more of any concert or anything, and it's phenomenal. I like it. I really love it, because even when you think you don't need it, you really do, because when people stand up right in front of you, you're seeing the back of that person's head. I did not pay this much money to look at the back of your head. I look to see that person performing and to enjoy the concert like everybody else. Personally, for me, I think everybody who is in the wheelchair should be up in front. No, I do not think we need special treatment. A lot of people will get special treatment and our rights confused. I think we have the right to enjoy a concert or everything else just as much as everybody else does. But when we can't see and we don't have the elevation feature on our wheelchair, it's impossible for us to enjoy. And it ends up being fun to boring to miserable. Like we don't want to be there if we can't see. What's the point? I paid $20 for this, $100 for this concert for what? Nothing? Like, it makes no sense. People don't see that. I understand not everybody in the world is handicapped, and not everybody will see the views like I do. But that is why I'm making this video, so people can be more aware and maybe change some few things about different places that could help us in the long run. The next topic I'll be talking about is getting a job. That's like the hardest thing if you are disabled, whether you, like I said before, whether you've been your whole life or whether it's just very new in the last couple of years you've been. Finding a job is difficult. If you've ever tried, it is difficult. My first job, it took me 9 months to get. 9 months. I know other people, it's hard, but it puts even more pressure on me, and it makes me feel miserable because nobody wants to even give me a chance. It doesn't matter where you are, whether it's a small town, a big city. It doesn't matter if you have more opportunities than others. People don't seem to understand no matter where you are, it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult. I'm like, I ain't making this stuff up. Like you go out and you could do everything right, the same thing as somebody else. They will still hire that other person that can walk over you because they could do more. It's sad to say, but they are. There are some places I've heard of which makes me smile, and it's so amazing to me that some stores are completely handled by people with some sort of disability, whether it's mentally or physically. There are some stores and places I've heard of that are just handicap related. I think there should be more places like that around the world that should be just handicap related. And it does make me smile when people do get those opportunities, because not everybody gets those opportunities or could get jobs that easily. It's a very hard process because everybody likes to think you're useless. You're not worth nothing. You don't, it makes us feel like shit. People don't sit here and think about those kind of things because they're not in those situations. And don't get me wrong, I understand that. But from my point of view, it sucks. It really does. I want to do things that other people can do. Not everything, because I know I cannot do everything everybody else can do. But I still want to live my life and do some things. Also, it ties along with the end of being ignored or treated a lot differently. A lot of people don't see how we get treated differently, but a lot of people, you could go out to the grocery store you've been for years. Like just, like for me it's Giant Eagle. For you it might be Kroger's or 7-Eleven or anything. Any grocery store, anywhere. Taco Bell, anywhere. You could go anywhere that you've been to a couple hundred times, and people will still stare at you. Yes, they stare at me like I'm an alien or I'm from another world. I'm a human, just like you. No, don't put labels on things. You know what we all are? We are all humans. Why don't we start all acting like humans? Like, I don't get it. I don't get why people stare. Glances are fine, but like, when you're like, it's just creepy to me. Like, I don't get why people do that. Like, you can stop now. Like, I've been here before. I don't get it. And then being ignored too. There's not a lot of places I personally deal with that, but I've had other people come up to me, that are handicapped or have things, going on with them. They're like, I'm being ignored. I sat there and I told them this, but then they asked somebody else, and yes, I did have that happen to me a couple times. I would tell somebody something, and they would go to somebody else who could walk and was all there, if you want to say that, and they said the exact same thing I said. Exact. I will admit I'm not the smartest person. Not everybody is the smartest person in the world. But I do have some knowledge, people. Come on. Like, listen to me every once in a while. It's not that hard. Okay, this next topic I'm going to be talking about is parking. Oh my God. There's so many different parking lot situation things I could go over, and I will go over, because they are important issues that people don't understand. A lot of people don't care. I'm sorry, but it's not about understanding to a certain point. It's about not caring. There are some people that are just so evil, they don't even care. They can look straight at you and be like, oh wait, I did something wrong? I didn't know. Come on, people, get it together. It's 2017 now. Get it together. Okay, now, I don't know if you guys have any technical terms for it. I'm going to call it a curb/ramp, whatever you want to call it. They have them in schools, in movie theaters, everywhere. They have them everywhere. They have, the little, like bump thing, and then they have the curve, the ramp or whatever. Sometimes there'll only be one. There would only be one, sometimes two, not even three half the time, but two for the most of those. People would be blocking it. I cannot stress that enough. If I'm sitting there and it's raining or snowing or it's bad weather, you think I want to sit out here in the cold for 30 minutes while you sit there and wait for whoever to come or whatever the heck you're doing? No, it is not a parking spot. Get out of the way. Be courtesy, have some courtesy for some other people who are disabled like me. That's their only way to get up. I don't even understand why not every place is flat. I mean, I understand with the rain, I guess, in different situations or whatever. I understand. But still, you got to be courtesy of other people and think about that for a change. Along with that, handicap parking. OMG, I could talk about that forever. That is the hugest the hugest problem we have anywhere. I go, at least for me or whatever, in my town, I could go anywhere and they could have handicap parking. Okay, not all of them have the lines. Do you guys know what those lines stand for? Do you? Well, if you don't, I'm going to tell you right now. It's so you get your ramp down and have enough room for the handicapped person to get out, okay? Some places don't even have that. Why do you have a handicap parking then if you don't have room for that person that is disabled and handicapped to get out? It mind blows me. Okay, yes, it's closer to the place, but we're not asking for closer. We're asking for the room to get out. Like, we would park all the way, in the back if there was a handicap space long enough. But if we cannot find, there's only, sometimes there'll only be, 5 or 6 parking spaces at the most anyways. And when those are all taken up, because my mom drives me now, I can't, drive myself right now. When my mom drives, she'll have to park all the way in the end and hope nobody would park next to us. And when somebody does park next to us, I have to wait out there no matter, what the weather is like. Even if the weather's bad and snowing and freezing cold, I have to wait out there for her to move around to another space, open up the door, get the ramp down. The last thing I kind of want to go over with everyone is how other people talk to people like us. I know I talked about being treated differently, but this is more as in the pity stage. I never really have gone through too much of that, to say the least, but I know some people have, and we just all want to be treated the same. There are a lot of things all of us can't reach, especially for a disabled person. It's hard reaching things. Like I've said before, not everybody has the new feature that I have on my wheelchair with the elevation, but that only goes up to 10 inches, so that's not even that far either. So I still can't reach everything that I want to reach. I don't want people coming up to me, whether I live with somebody, no matter who it is, and I finally reach something that I've been spending 15 minutes trying to reach, and people be clapping, congratulating, oh, yay, you finally got it. No. We are not 5. We are not 2. We are not in kindergarten or preschool. We don't want to be treated that way. I don't think anybody wants to be treated that way. If you start treating me that way, I'm going to start treating you that way to see how you like to feel, because it's still mind-blowing to me. I don't understand what people are thinking when they do some things. Maybe some people aren't even thinking at all, but I don't get that. I don't get that. I don't know. Why are you even doing that? Why? What is the reason to even do that? I'm out of words. I'm speechless. I don't know what else to say about that, but just don't do that. Just beware of how you talk to somebody like me, especially if they are the ones who are driving, and let's say they have a manual wheelchair and is, having a hard time, or is having a hard time opening up a door and stuff. Ask. That is the rule for everybody. Just ask us. If we need help, we'll say, yeah, we need help. Like anybody will say, yeah, you need help. But ask. Don't go touching anybody's stuff, anybody's property. That's a big no-no. Just don't do it. Don't do it. It'll save you a lot of trouble in the long run. Don't do it. Well, yeah, I think that wraps up my video. Comment below if you have some similarities and you have some same struggles. If I missed anything, comment below. If you have any suggestions for my next video that you want me to talk about or want my opinions about, comment below. Give this a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe to me, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay strong.